just come out of my husband's mouth. Barren. Trevor said it clearly, confidently, looking around the private dining room at both of our families seated at the long table. His parents on one side, my mother and brother on the other. White tablecloths, expensive wine, soft lighting from the chandelier above. This was the restaurant where we'd held our wedding reception 5 years ago. Now Trevor stood at the head of the table, his hand on his chest like he was pledging allegiance to some noble cause. I've tried everything, he continued, his voice catching just enough to sound genuine. We've spent years trying to have a baby. I've been to every doctor's appointment, every treatment, every procedure. But Brielle? He paused, shaking his head sadly. Brielle can't have children. She's barren. There was again. That word. Like I was a dried-up field that couldn't grow anything. Like I was broken. Defective. Less than. His mother reached across the table to pat his hand. Oh, sweetheart. You've been so strong through all of this. My mother's face had gone pale. My brother, Dennis, was staring at Trevor with barely concealed anger, but he hadn't said anything yet. Everyone was waiting for me to react. To cry maybe. To apologize for failing as a wife. I stayed silent and opened the binder. Trevor was still talking. I can't do this anymore. I've tried to be supportive, but a man has dreams. A man wants a family, wants to pass on his legacy. I've given Brielle 5 years. I've been patient. I've been understanding. But I can't sacrifice my whole future for what? I asked quietly, cutting him off. He looked at me, surprised I'd spoken. What? Sacrifice your future for what, Trevor? I repeated, my voice steady. I flipped to the first page of the binder. For a barren wife? Brielle, I know this is hard to hear, but I had my fertility tested last week, I said. I pulled out a medical report and held it up so everyone could see the hospital letterhead. Dr. Patricia Hughes at Riverside Fertility Clinic. The same doctor you've been taking me to for 3 years. According to her comprehensive evaluation, I have no fertility issues. My egg count is normal. My hormones are balanced. My reproductive system is perfectly healthy. The room went quiet. Trevor's face changed. Just for a second, something flickered across his expression. Fear maybe. But he recovered quickly. That's impossible. We've been trying for 5 years. We've been trying for 5 years because you've been sabotaging me for 3 of them, I said. I pulled out another document. These are laboratory test results on the fertility medication you've been giving me. The pills that were supposed to help me ovulate. I looked directly at him. They're not fertility medication, Trevor. They're multivitamins. Basic vitamin supplements you ordered from an online pharmacy and put into prescription bottles. His mother gasped. His father leaned forward. What is she talking about? I turned to the next page. This is Trevor's pharmacy account history, showing regular orders of blank pill bottles and vitamin supplements, delivered to his office. Another page. These are text messages between Trevor and a woman named Candace Peterson, discussing how he's been replacing my real medication with fakes. The messages go back 2.5 years. Brielle, stop, Trevor said. His voice had lost that sympathetic tone. Now he just sounded angry. You're making a scene. This is a photo of you with Candace and your son, I continued, pulling out a printed picture and setting it on the table. His name is Trevor Jr. He's 2 years old. This photo was taken at the park 3 weeks ago. My mother made a sound like she'd been punched. Dennis stood up so fast his chair fell over backward. You have a son? Dennis said, his voice dangerous. You've been lying about her being infertile when you have a whole child with another woman? Trevor's face had gone red. It's not, it's complicated. These are bank statements, I said, my voice cutting through the noise. I was on a roll now and nothing was going to stop me. They show $180,000 transferred from our joint account to Candace Peterson over the past 3 years. Money you told me was going to business expenses. I looked at his father, who owned the construction company where Trevor worked. Does your company know about these expenses? Trevor's father's face had turned to stone. No, he said quietly. It does not. I flipped to the next section. These are text messages where Trevor admits to Candace that he married me for my inheritance. My father died 6 months before our wedding and left me a substantial trust fund. Trevor told Candace that he never loved me, that he was just waiting for the right time to leave me broke and devastated. I read directly from the printout. Quote, she actually believes I care about having kids with her. I just need to drain that trust fund first, then I'm done. You and TJ are my real family. The silence in the room was absolute. I closed the binder and looked at Trevor. He was standing there, frozen, like his brain couldn't process what was happening. This wasn't how his script was supposed to go. He was supposed to be the hero walking away from his barren wife. I was supposed to be the one humiliated. Divorce papers were filed this morning, I said calmly, along with a lawsuit for fraud, financial exploitation, and emotional distress. You'll be served tomorrow. I stood up, tucked the binder under my arm, and looked around the table. At his parents, who looked horrified. At my mother, who had tears streaming down her face. At Dennis, who looked ready to commit murder. Enjoy your dinner, I said. Then I walked out of that restaurant with my head held high, leaving my husband's lies scattered across the table like broken glass. The real revenge was just beginning. I met Trevor Chambers at a hospital fundraising gala 6 years ago. I was 28, working as an assistant administrator at Riverside Medical Center. He was 32, charming, successful, and he made me feel like the only woman in the room. You have the most beautiful smile, he'd said, handing me a glass of champagne. I've been trying to work up the courage to talk to you all night. I'd laughed, flattered. Trevor was handsome in that clean-cut, all-American way. Tall, athletic, always perfectly dressed. He worked for his father's construction company, managing commercial projects. He seemed stable, ambitious, kind. We dated for 8 months before he proposed. It was romantic, dinner at an expensive restaurant, a beautiful ring, tears in his eyes when he asked me to marry him. My father had died of a heart attack 6 months earlier, and I was still drowning in grief. Trevor felt like a life raft. I'm going to take care of you, he'd promised. We're going to build a beautiful life together. Have kids, raise a family, grow old together. That word, kids, had made my heart sing. I'd always wanted children. I pictured our future. A house in the suburbs, kids running around the backyard, family dinners and birthday parties and school plays. We got married 3 months later at the same restaurant where, 5 years later, I would destroy him. For the first year, everything seemed perfect. We bought a house with money from my father's trust fund. Trevor was attentive, loving, excited about starting our family. We stopped using protection immediately. Let's just see what happens naturally, Trevor had said, kissing my forehead. No pressure. Just us. When I didn't get pregnant after 6 months, I started to worry a little. When a year passed with negative test after negative test, I started to panic. Maybe we should see a doctor, I'd suggested nervously. Trevor had been supportive. Of course, baby. Whatever you need. We're in this together. That's how it started. Doctor's appointments became a regular part of my life. Blood tests, ultrasounds, hormone panels. Every month brought another negative pregnancy test and another piece of my confidence crumbling away. Everything looks normal, the first doctor said. Just keep trying. Sometimes it takes time. But time kept passing. 1 year became 2. 2 became 3. Trevor suggested we see a specialist. That's when we met Dr. Patricia Hughes at Riverside Fertility Clinic, one of the best in the state. She ran more comprehensive tests. She put me on medication to help regulate my cycle, to boost my egg production, to increase our chances. These should help, she'd said kindly, writing prescriptions. Take 1 pill every morning. We'll track your progress. Trevor had picked up the medication from the pharmacy. He'd organized my pills in a weekly container, making sure I took them at the same time every day. He'd been so helpful, so caring. We're going to figure this out, he'd promised, holding me while I cried after another negative test. I love you. We'll have our family. But we didn't. Month after month, the tests came back negative. I started to feel like a failure. At family dinners, Trevor's mother would make comments about grandchildren. You know, you're not getting any younger, Brielle. Maybe you should try harder. My own mother would give me sympathetic looks. It's okay if it doesn't happen, sweetheart. There are other ways to build a family. But I wanted this. I wanted to carry a baby, to experience pregnancy, to give birth. And I couldn't understand why my body wouldn't cooperate. The worst part was watching Trevor's patients wear thin. Or at least that's what I thought I was seeing. Little comments here and there. Another negative test? That's disappointing. Dr. Hughes is starting to run out of options. My parents are really hoping for grandchildren soon. Each comment felt like a small cut. Death by 1,000 paper cuts, slowly bleeding out my self-worth. Year 3 became year 4. I'd spent tens of thousands of dollars on treatments, all from my trust fund. Trevor's construction job paid well enough for our regular expenses, but the fertility treatments were expensive. He'd insisted we use my inheritance. It's your dream to have kids, he'd said. Your father would want you to use that money for something that makes you happy. So I did. I spent money on consultations with new doctors, trying different medications, considering more invasive procedures. Trevor was always there, supportive, helpful. He came to most appointments. He picked up my prescriptions. He held me when I cried. Looking back now, I could see it clearly. Every supportive gesture was a lie. Every kind word was manipulation. Every promise was fake. But at the time, I just thought I was broken. By year 5, I'd stopped hoping. I'd started to accept that maybe motherhood wasn't in the cards for me. Maybe I was defective. Maybe there was something fundamentally wrong with my body that the doctors couldn't find. Trevor had suggested taking a break from treatments. Maybe the stress is making it worse, he'd said. Let's just relax for a while. What will be, will be. I'd agreed, exhausted from the emotional roller coaster. We'd stopped actively trying. I'd stayed on the medication Dr. Hughes prescribed, but I'd given up on the dream of seeing 2 pink lines on a pregnancy test. That's when Trevor started working late more often. Business trips became more frequent. He was on his phone constantly, texting about work emergencies. I should have known something was wrong. But I was too numb from years of disappointment to notice. Too beaten down by failure to question anything. Until 3 weeks ago when I found his second phone in his gym bag. That's when everything changed. That's when I stopped being the victim and started gathering evidence. That's when I began planning the dinner that would end my marriage and destroy his lies forever. It was a Thursday afternoon. I'd left work early because of a headache, something that had been happening more often lately. The house was quiet when I got home. Trevor wouldn't be back for hours. He had a client dinner that night, or so he'd said. I changed into comfortable clothes and was about to lie down when I noticed Trevor's gym bag on the bedroom floor. He usually kept it in his car, but he must have brought it in to wash his workout clothes. I picked it up to take it to the laundry room. That's when I heard it, a buzzing sound muffled from inside the bag. A phone notification. I unzipped the bag. Trevor's regular phone was sitting on the nightstand, plugged into the charger. So what was buzzing in the bag? My hands were shaking as I dug through the dirty gym clothes. At the bottom, wrapped in a hand towel, I found a second phone. An iPhone in a black case, the screen lit up with incoming messages. I knew I shouldn't look. I knew it was an invasion of privacy. But something in my gut told me to check. I swiped the screen. No password. The messages were right there. Candace, TJ keeps asking about his daddy. When are you coming over? Candace, I need money for his daycare. The bill is due Friday. Candace, miss you. Last night was amazing. My stomach dropped. I scrolled up, reading message after message. They went back years. 3 years of conversations between my husband and a woman named Candace. My hands were numb as I scrolled through months of messages. Photos of a little boy with Trevor's eyes and smile. A child I'd never seen before, never knew existed. Messages about birthday parties and doctor's appointments and bedtime stories. Trevor had a son. A whole child. While I'd been crying over negative pregnancy tests, he'd been living a double life with another family. I sat down on the bed, my legs suddenly unable to hold me up. The phone was still in my hands, still open to the messages. I couldn't look away. Then I saw it. A conversation from 8 months ago. Trevor, she's taking the pills every day like clockwork. Still no idea. Candace, you're terrible. Oh. How much longer are you going to keep this up? Trevor, until I've drained that trust fund. Another year, maybe 2. Then I'm done. Candace, what about the fertility doctor? Trevor, Dr. Hughes doesn't know I've been swapping the real meds for vitamins. Brielle picks up the prescription info, I handle the actual pharmacy pickup. I've been doing it for almost 3 years now. Candace, that's cold, babe. Trevor, she actually believes she's infertile. It's pathetic. She cries about it all the time. Candace, and you comfort her? Trevor, of course. That's part of the plan. Keep her dependent, keep her spending her money trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. By the time I leave, she'll be broken. I read the message 3 times before the words actually registered in my brain. Trevor had been sabotaging me. For 3 years, he'd been replacing my fertility medication with fake pills. The pills I'd been taking religiously every single morning. The pills I'd believed would help me get pregnant. They were vitamins. My infertility wasn't real. It was manufactured. Orchestrated by my husband. The room started spinning. I couldn't breathe. I ran to the bathroom and threw up, my whole body shaking. When I could finally stand again, I went back to the bedroom and kept reading. I needed to know everything. There were messages about money. Thousands of dollars Trevor had taken from our joint account, our account funded by my trust fund. Money he claimed was for business expenses or emergency repairs on the house or helping his parents. Trevor, Transferred another $5,000 today. Told Brielle it was for new construction equipment. Candace, you're a genius. How much total now? Trevor, close to $180,000 over 3 years. She doesn't even check the statements. There were messages about me. Cruel, mocking messages. Trevor, she made me go to another fertility doctor today. Sat there crying in the waiting room like a baby. Candace, does she suspect anything? Trevor, no. She's too wrapped up in her own failure to notice anything else. Candace, when are you going to leave her? Trevor, soon. I'm planning something big. Going to make it look like it's her fault, like I'm the victim. Then I walk away clean and she gets to live with the shame of being the barren wife who couldn't keep her husband. I read that message over and over. The calculated cruelty of it took my breath away. This wasn't just an affair. This was systematic abuse. Financial exploitation. Emotional torture. Trevor had married me for my money. He'd pretended to love me while slowly destroying me from the inside out. He'd made me believe I was broken, defective, less than human. All while building a secret family with another woman. I sat on that bed for 2 hours, reading every single message on that phone. Learning about Candace, a dental hygienist he'd met at a work event. Learning about their son, Trevor Jr., born 2 years ago. Learning about all the lies my husband had told both of us. Because the messages also revealed that Candace didn't know about the fertility sabotage. She knew he was married, knew he was with me for money, but she didn't know the full extent of his cruelty. She thought they were going to be together once he left me. By the time I heard Trevor's car pull into the driveway, I'd made my decision. I wasn't going to confront him. I wasn't going to scream or cry or throw things. I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of seeing me fall apart. I was going to destroy him. But I was going to do it smart. Methodically. With evidence so solid he couldn't lie his way out of it. I put the phone back exactly where I'd found it, wrapped in the towel at the bottom of his gym bag. I went to the bathroom and washed my face. I changed into pajamas and got into bed. When Trevor came home, I pretended to be asleep. He kissed my forehead, whispered, "Love you," and got into bed beside me. I lay there in the dark, listening to him breathe and planned my revenge. The next morning, I called in sick to work. Trevor left for the office at his usual time, kissing me goodbye and telling me to feel better. I waited until his car disappeared down the street. Then I got to work. First, I needed to secure the evidence from his second phone. I couldn't take the phone itself, he'd notice it was missing. But I could document everything. I dug the phone out of his gym bag and spent 3 hours taking screenshots of every incriminating message, every photo of him with Candace and their son, every conversation about the money he'd stolen and the medications he'd swapped. I transferred all the screenshots to a flash drive, then to a cloud storage account Trevor didn't know about. Next, I needed to verify the fertility medication situation. I still had pills left from my most recent prescription. I put several pills in a plastic bag and drove to a different pharmacy across town, one where nobody knew me. "I need these tested," I told the pharmacist. "I think they might be counterfeit." The pharmacist examined the pills, then looked up at me with concern. "These aren't prescription medication. They're standard multivitamins. You can buy these at any grocery store." Even though I'd expected it, hearing it confirmed felt like being punched. "Are you sure?" "Completely sure. See this marking?" She pointed to a tiny imprint on the pill. "That's a manufacturer code for over-the-counter supplements. Whoever told you these were prescription medication was lying." I thanked her and left. In my car, I sat and cried for 10 minutes. Not sad tears this time. Angry tears. Furious tears. When I'd pulled myself together, I drove to Riverside Fertility Clinic. Dr. Hughes looked surprised when her nurse brought me back to her office. "Brielle, we don't have an appointment scheduled today. Is everything okay?" "I need to ask you something," I said. I pulled out the bottle of pills Trevor had given me last month. "Are these the fertility medications you prescribed?" She took the bottle and examined it. Her face changed. "Where did you get this bottle?" "My husband picked up the prescription. He always does." Dr. Hughes opened the bottle and looked at the pills inside. Then she looked at me, her expression serious. "Brielle, I need you to be honest with me. Have you been taking these pills?" "Every single day for 3 years." She closed her eyes briefly. "These are not the medications I prescribed. I don't know what these are, but they're not from my prescriptions." "I had them tested," I said. "They're multivitamins." "I'm going to ask you a difficult question," Dr. Hughes said carefully. "Do you think your husband has been deliberately giving you the wrong medication?" "I know he has. I have proof." Dr. Hughes was quiet for a moment. Then she said, I'm going to run a full fertility panel on you right now. No appointment, no scheduling. We're doing this today. She called in her nurse and ordered a comprehensive blood test. While we waited for the results, she pulled my medical file. I've reviewed all your test results over the past 3 years, she said. I've never found any medical reason why you couldn't conceive naturally. Your hormone levels have always been normal. Your physical exams have always been normal. I prescribed those medications as a precautionary measure to optimize your fertility, but honestly, you never needed them. You should have been able to get pregnant naturally. The blood test results came back 2 hours later. Dr. Hughes showed me the report, pointing to each number. Your egg reserve is excellent. Your hormones are perfectly balanced. Your reproductive system is functioning normally. Brielle, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are not infertile. You never were. I'd known it intellectually since reading the messages, but hearing a doctor confirm it broke something open in my chest. 3 years of believing I was broken. 3 years of failure and shame and self-hatred. All manufactured by my husband. I need this in writing, I said, my voice shaking. Official documentation that I have no fertility issues. Dr. Hughes printed out a comprehensive report. She also wrote a letter on clinic letterhead, stating that in her professional medical opinion, I was fully capable of conceiving and carrying a pregnancy. If you need me to testify about any of this, she said quietly, I will. My next stop was a private investigator's office. I'd found the best reviewed investigator in the city online. Her name was Patricia Rivers, and her website said she specialized in infidelity cases. I walked into her office and put the flash drive on her desk. My husband is having an affair and has a child I didn't know about. He's also been stealing money from me. I need everything documented. Patricia plugged in the flash drive and spent 30 minutes reviewing the screenshots. When she looked up, her expression was grim. This is one of the worst cases I've seen, she said. And I've seen a lot. You want full surveillance. I want everything. Photos, videos, financial records, addresses. I want to know every detail of his life with her. This is going to cost. I don't care what it costs. Patricia worked fast. Within a week, she had everything. Photos of Trevor entering Candace's apartment building. Photos of him at the park with Candace and Trevor Jr., pushing the boy on the swings. Photos of them grocery shopping together, holding hands like a normal couple. Financial records showing the transfers from our joint account. Patricia had traced the money, $180,000 over 3 years, all going to Candace. Rent payments for her apartment, daycare costs for the child, car payments, shopping trips. Patricia even got me Candace's full information. Her workplace, her family, her social media accounts. I looked at photos of my husband's other life spread across Instagram and Facebook. Birthday parties for Trevor Jr. Date nights with Candace. A whole life I'd known nothing about. The final piece came from my lawyer. I'd hired Monica Brennan, the top divorce attorney in the state. She had a reputation for being ruthless but fair. This is an easy case legally, Monica said, reviewing my evidence. Fraud, financial exploitation, emotional distress. The fertility medication sabotage is particularly damning. We can file for divorce and a civil lawsuit simultaneously. I want to wait, I said. Monica raised an eyebrow. Wait for what? I want him to think he's getting away with it. I want him to make his move, whatever he's planning. And then I want to destroy him publicly. That's risky. The longer you wait, the more money he could potentially hide or move. He won't. I've been monitoring the accounts daily. Any large transfer and I'll move immediately. But I want this to hurt. I want everyone to know what he did. Monica smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Then we should prepare our documents but hold off on filing. When you're ready to move, we'll move fast. For 3 weeks, I played the perfect wife. I smiled at Trevor over breakfast. I asked about his day. I took my fake fertility pills every morning like nothing had changed. But every night, I added to my binder. I printed documents. I organized evidence. I built my case piece by piece. Trevor noticed nothing. He was too busy with his double life to pay attention to me. That's when he announced he wanted to have the family dinner. Both our families, he'd said. At the restaurant where we got married. I want to share something important with everyone. I knew exactly what he was planning. I'd found the draft of his speech on his laptop. He was going to publicly end our marriage, blaming my infertility, positioning himself as the heartbroken husband who tried everything. That sounds lovely, I'd said sweetly. Let's do it. Trevor had no idea I'd just set the trap that would end him. The dinner was scheduled for Saturday night. Monica had the divorce papers and lawsuit ready to file Monday morning. Patricia had provided me with the final surveillance photos just days before. Everything was ready. All I needed was that black leather binder and the courage to burn my marriage to the ground. The week before the dinner felt like living in a play where only I knew the real script. Trevor was excited, practically giddy. He hummed while getting dressed in the morning. He was extra attentive, extra affectionate. "This dinner is going to change everything," he said Tuesday night, kissing the top of my head while I pretended to watch television. "I'm sure it will," I replied, and it wasn't even a lie. He had no idea that while he was planning his grand exit, I was preparing his complete destruction. Monica had given me specific instructions. Don't file the paperwork until after the confrontation. If he knows what's coming, he'll lawyer up and try to hide assets. We need the element of surprise. So I waited. I organized my binder with tabs and labels. Medical records, financial documents, text messages, photographs, witness statements. It was comprehensive, methodical, impossible to dispute. Dr. Hughes had provided me with additional documentation. A detailed letter explaining the medications I should have been receiving versus what I'd actually been taking. She'd even included scientific explanations of how the real medications worked and why multivitamins couldn't possibly have the same effect. Patricia had delivered her final report in a sealed envelope. "I've included everything we discussed," she said, "plus a few things you didn't ask for. Credit card records showing hotel stays with Candace. Restaurant receipts from their anniversary dinners, 3 of them, 1 for each year they've been together. Text messages between Candace and her friends, discussing her relationship with a married man. It's all in there." I'd added everything to the binder. By Wednesday it was 3 inches thick. That night, Trevor announced which restaurant we'd be dining at. "I've booked the private room at Bellevue. Remember that place? Where we had our wedding reception?" "I remember," I said softly. "How could I forget? That beautiful room overlooking the river where I'd promised to love him forever. Where I'd believed we were starting our happily ever after." "It seems fitting," Trevor said, not meeting my eyes. "Full circle, you know?" I knew exactly what he meant. Start the marriage there, end it there. He probably thought it was poetic. By Thursday, both families had confirmed they'd attend. Trevor's parents, James and Patricia Chambers. My mother, Diane. My brother, Dennis, and his wife, Nicole. Dennis called me that afternoon. "What's this dinner about?" Mom said Trevor made it sound important. "I think he wants to make an announcement," I said carefully. "About what?" "You'll have to wait and see." "Bree, you sound weird. Is everything okay?" My brother knew me too well. We'd always been close, especially after our father died. Dennis had been my rock during those dark months of grief. "Everything's fine," I lied. "I'll see you Saturday." Friday morning, I took a personal day from work. I needed time to prepare, to get my mind right. I went to a salon and got my hair done, my nails done. If I was going to destroy my husband's life in public, I was going to look good doing it. The stylist chatted while she worked. "Special occasion?" "You could say that," I replied. "A dinner with family." "Well, you're going to look beautiful. Your husband is a lucky man." I smiled and said nothing. That afternoon, I visited my father's grave for the first time in months. I'd been avoiding the cemetery, too wrapped up in my own failures to face the reminder of my loss. I sat on the grass next to his headstone and told him everything. About Trevor's betrayal, about the lies, about the dinner I had planned. "I know you'd be proud of me for fighting back," I said softly. "But I also know you'd be disappointed that I married someone who could do this. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner." The wind rustled through the trees. Birds sang in the branches above. My father didn't answer because he couldn't. But sitting there, I felt a strange sense of peace settle over me. I'd spent 5 years letting Trevor make me feel small. Letting him convince me I was broken. Letting him steal my money, my time, my hope. That was ending tomorrow. Friday night, Trevor came home with flowers. "For my beautiful wife," he said, handing me a bouquet of roses. They were probably guilt flowers. Or maybe strategic flowers, part of his performance. Either way, I accepted them with a smile. "You're being so sweet lately," I said. "You deserve it." He pulled me close, kissed me. I let him, even though my skin crawled. "I know things have been hard with the fertility stuff. But I want you to know, no matter what happens, I care about you." Care, not love. I noticed that word choice. "I care about you too," I said, matching his energy. That night, while Trevor slept beside me, I did a final review of everything. The binder was perfect. Monica had assured me the legal paperwork was ready to file first thing Monday morning. Patricia had delivered the final surveillance photos. I had one more thing to do. I pulled out my phone and typed a careful message to Dr. Hughes. If anyone contacts you about my medical records related to tomorrow's events, you have my full permission to verify everything in your report. She responded within minutes. Understood. I'll be available if needed. I also sent messages to my mother and Dennis. No matter what happens tomorrow night, please let me handle it. I promise everything will make sense. Mom replied with a concerned emoji. Dennis sent back, you're scaring me but okay. Saturday morning arrived bright and clear. Trevor was up early whistling in the shower. He'd laid out his best suit, the charcoal gray one he wore to important business meetings. I chose my outfit carefully. A deep blue dress, elegant but professional. Pearl earrings my father had given me for my college graduation. Simple heels. I wanted to look strong, not victimized. Trevor noticed. You look beautiful. Really beautiful. Thank you. Ready for tonight? More than you know. We arrived at Bellevue at 6:30. The private dining room was exactly as I remembered. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the river, a long table set with white linens and crystal glasses, soft lighting from the antique chandelier. Trevor's parents arrived first. James shook Trevor's hand firmly. Patricia hugged me with sympathy in her eyes. How are you holding up, dear? I'm fine, I said pleasantly. Thank you for coming. My family arrived next. Mom looked worried. She kept glancing between Trevor and me, trying to read the situation. Dennis was tense, his jaw tight. Nicole, sweet as always, tried to make small talk about work and weather. We all sat down. Trevor at the head of the table. Me to his right. Everyone else arranged around us like we were the king and queen of some tragic court. The servers brought salads, filled wine glasses, disappeared quietly. Trevor stood up halfway through the appetizer course. His hands were shaking slightly. Nerves probably. Or excitement. Thank you all for coming tonight, he began. I wanted to gather our families together because I have something important to share. I reached down and wrapped my fingers around the edge of the black binder sitting in my lap. This was it. This was the moment everything changed. Trevor took a deep breath and continued, as you all know, Brielle and I have been trying to have a baby for 5 years. It's been a difficult journey filled with disappointment and heartbreak. My mother reached over and squeezed my hand. I squeezed back, but my eyes never left Trevor. We've tried everything. Multiple doctors, expensive treatments, years of hope and failure. And I've been patient. I've been supportive. I've stood by Brielle through it all. Here it comes, I thought. But sometimes, Trevor said, his voice catching with manufactured emotion, sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes you have to face the truth no matter how painful. He looked at me. Actually looked at me, his eyes glistening with fake tears. Brielle is barren, he said. And that's when I opened the binder. The word hung in the air like poison gas. Barren. I watched it hit everyone at the table. My mother's sharp intake of breath, Dennis's hands clenching into fists, Patricia Chambers's eyes going wide with shock. Trevor was still talking, building his case. The doctors have tried everything, but the reality is that Brielle can't have children. Her body it doesn't work the way it should. I stayed silent, watching him perform. He was good at this. His voice broke at just the right moments. His hands trembled just enough to seem genuine. If I didn't know better, I might have believed him myself. I've tried to accept it, he continued, addressing the table like they were his jury. God knows I've tried. But a man has dreams. A man wants to build a legacy, to pass something on to the next generation. And I can't sacrifice my entire future for what, Trevor? I asked quietly. He stopped mid-sentence, thrown by my interruption. What? You said you can't sacrifice your future for something. I'm asking for what? I placed the binder on the table in front of me. For a barren wife? The room went quiet. Everyone was looking at me now. Trevor recovered quickly. Brielle, I know this is hard to hear. I had my fertility tested last week, I said, flipping open the binder to the first tab section. I pulled out Dr. Hughes's report and held it up so everyone could see the official clinic letterhead. Dr. Patricia Hughes at Riverside Fertility Clinic ran a comprehensive evaluation. According to her professional medical assessment, I have no fertility issues whatsoever. I laid the report on the table and slid it toward Trevor's parents. James picked it up immediately, his eyes scanning the document. My egg count is normal, I continued calmly. My hormones are balanced. My reproductive system is perfectly healthy. Dr. Hughes stated in writing that there is no medical reason I couldn't conceive naturally. Trevor's face had gone pale. That's impossible. We've been trying for 5 years. We've been trying for 5 years because you've been sabotaging me for 3 of them. The temperature in the room seemed to drop 10 degrees. I pulled out the next set of documents. These are laboratory test results from an independent pharmacy. They tested the fertility medication you've been giving me for the past 3 years. I looked directly at Trevor. The pills that were supposed to help me ovulate, the pills I took religiously every single morning. They're not fertility medication, Trevor. They're multivitamins. Basic over-the-counter supplements that you ordered online and put into prescription bottles. Dennis stood up so fast his chair scraped loudly against the floor. What? I kept going, pulling document after document from the binder. This is your pharmacy account history, Trevor. Showing regular orders of blank prescription bottles and vitamin supplements, all delivered to your office. I passed the papers to my brother. The dates correlate exactly with when you told me you were picking up my prescriptions from Dr. Hughes. Trevor's mother, Patricia, had her hand over her mouth. Trevor, tell me this isn't true. Mom, she's making this up. She's confused. I'm not confused. I pulled out my phone and brought up the screenshots. These are text messages between you and Candace Peterson. They go back 2.5 years. Would you like me to read some of them aloud? No. Trevor's voice was sharp. Brielle, stop this right now. This one's from 8 months ago, I read, ignoring him. You wrote, she's taking the pills every day like clockwork. Still no idea. Candace responded, you're terrible. How much longer are you going to keep this up? And you replied, until I've drained that trust fund. Another year, maybe 2. Then I'm done. My mother made a sound like she'd been struck. Her face had gone white. I continued reading. Candace asked, what about the fertility doctor? And you said, dear, Hughes doesn't know I've been swapping the real meds for vitamins. Brielle picks up the prescription info, I handle the actual pharmacy pickup. I've been doing it for almost 3 years now. Stop, Trevor said. His confident demeanor had cracked. He looked panicked now, desperate. Everyone, she's taking things out of context. Here's another message, I said, my voice steady. Candace said, that's cold, babe. And you responded, she actually believes she's infertile. It's pathetic. She cries about it all the time. Nicole gasped. Even she, who always tried to see the best in people, looked horrified. I pulled out a printed photograph and placed it in the center of the table. This is you with Candace Peterson and your son. His name is Trevor Jr. He turned 2 years old in March. The photograph was clear, taken by Patricia's investigator at a public park. Trevor was pushing a little boy on the swings. Candace stood beside him, laughing. They looked like a family. A happy family. Patricia Chambers picked up the photo with shaking hands. You have a child? That's... Trevor started, then stopped. What could he say? The photo was right there. There are more, I said, spreading additional photos across the table. Trevor and Candace at the grocery store. At a restaurant. Outside an apartment building. These were taken over the past 3 weeks by a private investigator. James Chambers stood up. His face had turned red. You had us come here tonight to watch you blame your wife for being infertile, when you have a child with another woman? Dad, it's not. Not what? James's voice thundered through the room. Not what we think. Not as bad as it looks? Because it looks like you've been lying to everyone, including your own parents. I wasn't done. I pulled out the financial records. These are bank statements from our joint account. Over the past 3 years, you've transferred $180,000 to Candace Peterson. Money you told me was going to business expenses. I slid the statements to James. Does Chambers Construction know about these expenses? James grabbed the papers, his hands shaking with rage as he reviewed the transactions. No, these are not company expenses. The money came from my trust fund, I said. The inheritance from my father. Trevor told me it was going to equipment purchases, emergency house repairs, helping his parents with medical bills. I looked at Patricia Chambers. Did you have medical bills that needed $15,000 3 months ago? Patricia shook her head, tears streaming down her face. No, we haven't had any medical expenses. I pulled out more printed messages. In these texts, Trevor told Candace about his plan to marry me for my inheritance. He said, and I quote, she actually believes I care about having kids with her. I just need to drain that trust fund first, then I'm done. You and TJ are my real family. My mother was crying openly now. Dennis had moved to stand behind me, his hands on my shoulders like he was afraid I might collapse. But I wasn't collapsing. I was standing stronger than I'd stood in 5 years. Trevor told Candace that after he left me, I'd be broken, I continued. He planned to publicly blame me for our failed marriage, make it seem like my infertility was the problem, and walk away with everyone's sympathy while I dealt with the shame. I closed the binder and looked at my husband. His face had gone from pale to gray. He looked like he might throw up. "But here's what you didn't plan on, Trevor," I said quietly. "You didn't plan on me finding your second phone. You didn't plan on me getting my fertility tested independently. You didn't plan on me hiring an investigator. You didn't plan on me documenting everything. And you definitely didn't plan on me fighting back." The room was absolutely silent. I stood up, gathering my binder. Divorce papers were filed this morning, along with a lawsuit for fraud, financial exploitation, and emotional distress. You'll be served tomorrow. Monica Brennan is my attorney. I believe you know her reputation. Trevor's face somehow went even paler at the mention of Monica's name. Everyone in the legal community knew she was ruthless. The evidence I've presented tonight is just a fraction of what we have. Text messages, photos, financial records, medical documentation, witness statements. I looked around the table. I've made copies of everything for each of you. You deserve to know the truth about who Trevor really is. I reached into my bag and pulled out manila envelopes, passing one to Trevor's parents and one to my mother. Patricia was sobbing. James looked like he wanted to hit something, or someone. Dennis spoke for the first time, his voice shaking with barely controlled rage. "You made my sister believe she was broken. You made her cry herself to sleep. You made her feel like less than a person. All while you were stealing her money and living a whole other life." Trevor opened his mouth, but no words came out. "I have nothing else to say to you," I said to Trevor. "My lawyer will handle everything from here." I looked at his parents. "I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but I thought you deserved to know what your son has done." I picked up my purse and my binder. My mother stood up immediately, still crying. Dennis and Nicole followed. "Brielle, wait," Trevor finally found his voice. "Please let me explain." "Explain what?" I turned back to him. "Explain how you married me for my money? Explain how you sabotaged my fertility for 3 years? Explain how you built a family with another woman while making me believe I was infertile? There's nothing you can say that will change what you've done. I made mistakes, but..." "Mistakes?" Dennis stepped forward. "You systematically abused my sister for 5 years. You stole from her. You lied to her. You made her hate herself. Those aren't mistakes, Trevor. That's who you are." James Chambers stood up. "Son, don't say another word. Not one word. Patricia, we're leaving." "Dad." I said we're leaving. James's voice was ice. "You've embarrassed this family enough for one night. We'll discuss this later. With our lawyer present." Patricia was crying too hard to speak. She just shook her head at Trevor, looking at him like she didn't recognize her own son. I walked toward the door, my family close behind me. Trevor called after me one more time. "Brielle, please. I love you." I stopped at the doorway and looked back at him one last time. He was standing alone at that table, surrounded by the evidence of his betrayal, looking desperate and small. "No, you don't," I said simply. "And honestly, I don't think you ever did." Then I walked out of Bellevue Restaurant with my head held high, leaving Trevor alone with the wreckage of his lies. The cool night air hit my face as we stepped outside. I took a deep breath, the first truly free breath I'd taken in years. "That," Dennis said, his arm around my shoulders, "was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." My mother hugged me tight. "I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. So proud." I didn't cry. Not yet. The tears would come later, when the adrenaline wore off and the reality of everything hit me. But right now, standing outside that restaurant with my real family around me, I felt something I hadn't felt in a very long time. I felt powerful. The next morning, I woke up in my childhood bedroom at my mother's house. I'd stayed there instead of going home to the house I'd shared with Trevor. Dennis had driven to the house late Saturday night with a police escort and collected my essential belongings: clothes, documents, my laptop, personal items. He tried to talk to me, Dennis had reported. I told him if he came within 50 feet of you, I'd file for a restraining order. Now it was Sunday morning, and sunlight was streaming through the curtains of my old room. For a moment I forgot where I was. Then everything from the night before came rushing back. My phone had been buzzing nonstop since I turned it back on. 37 missed calls from Trevor. 15 text messages, each more desperate than the last. "Trevor, please answer. I can explain everything. Trevor, it's not what you think. Let me talk to you. Trevor, I made mistakes but I still love you. Trevor, your lawyer can't do this. We can work it out. Trevor, you're destroying my life over a misunderstanding. I deleted every single message without responding. There were also messages from other people. Patricia Chambers had texted, I am so sorry for what my son has done. You didn't deserve any of this. If you need anything, please let me know. Several friends had reached out, confused. Apparently, word was spreading fast. A few people from Trevor's work had seen him at the restaurant looking devastated and were asking questions. But the message that made me pause was from Candace Peterson. Unknown number, is it true? The things you said about Trevor last night? Someone sent me screenshots of your evidence. I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore it. This woman had been sleeping with my husband for 3 years. She'd had his child. She'd participated in the destruction of my marriage. But another part of me remembered those text messages where Trevor had lied to her too. Where he'd manipulated her, used her, made promises he never intended to keep. I typed back, everything I presented last night is true. I have documentation if you want to see it. 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Asterisk Candace, can we meet? I need to understand what's real anymore. I thought about it. Monica had warned me against contact with Candace. Anything you say to her could potentially be used against you, she'd said. But I texted back anyway, Riverside Cafe. 2 p.m. Come alone. Downstairs, my mother was making breakfast. The smell of coffee and toast filled the kitchen. It was comforting, familiar. How many mornings had I sat at this table as a kid, complaining about homework or gossiping about school friends? How are you feeling? Mom asked, pouring me coffee. Honestly? I don't know. Numb, maybe. That's normal after what you went through. She sat down across from me. I still can't believe Trevor did all of that. I thought he loved you. I really did. He fooled everyone, Mom. That was the point. Dennis came into the kitchen, already dressed. I'm heading to the house to get the rest of your stuff. Made a list last night of everything you wanted. Anything else? I thought about it. The house was full of 5 years of memories, most of them now tainted by Trevor's betrayal. My photo albums. The ones from before I met Trevor. And Dad's watch, the one he left me. Got it? Dennis grabbed his keys. Nicole's coming with me in case Trevor shows up. Witnesses. After he left, I took my coffee out to the back porch. My mother's garden was in full bloom. Roses, hydrangeas, lavender. I sat in the same chair I'd sat in as a teenager, processing heartbreaks that seemed so trivial now. My phone rang. Monica. How are you holding up? She asked. I'm okay. Staying at my mom's. Good. I wanted to update you on the legal proceedings. Trevor's been trying to contact my office. Left 4 voicemails yesterday evening and 3 more this morning. What does he want? To negotiate. To talk. To explain. Monica's tone was dry. I've told him all communication goes through me. He's also retained an attorney, Richard Foster from Blackwell and Associates. Should I be worried? Not even a little. Foster's good, but he's got no case. The evidence you provided is airtight. I've already filed preliminary motions. The divorce should be relatively quick, and the fraud lawsuit is solid. Trevor's going to have to return every penny he stole, plus penalties. What about his parents? James Chambers called me this morning. He wants to cooperate fully. Said his son doesn't represent the values of their family, and he's not going to protect him from the consequences of his actions. I felt a wave of gratitude toward Trevor's father. At least someone in that family had integrity. There's one more thing, Monica said. The story is getting out. People are talking. By tomorrow it'll probably be all over your social circles. Are you prepared for that? I don't care if people know. I didn't do anything wrong. That's the right attitude. Hold your head high. You're the victim here, not the villain. After we hung up, I got ready for my meeting with Candace. I chose simple clothes, jeans and a sweater. I wasn't trying to impress anyone or prove anything. I just wanted answers. Riverside Cafe was a quiet spot near the park, the kind of place where you could have a private conversation. I arrived first and chose a table in the back corner. Ordered a coffee. Waited. Candace walked in at exactly 2 o'clock. I recognized her from the photos, petite, pretty, with long dark hair and nervous eyes. She spotted me immediately and walked over. Brielle? She asked quietly. Sit down. She sat, clutching her purse like a shield. Up close, she looked younger than I'd expected. Maybe 26 or 27. Dark circles under her eyes, like she hadn't slept. We stared at each other for a long moment. I didn't know, she finally said. About the fertility stuff. About him sabotaging you. I swear I didn't know. But you knew he was married. She flinched. Yes. You knew he had a wife at home who thought they were trying to start a family. Yes. Her voice was barely a whisper. And you still slept with him. Had his child. Took his money. Candace's eyes filled with tears. I know how it looks. I know you probably hate me. But Trevor told me your marriage was over. He said you guys were separated, just hadn't made it official yet. He said you knew about me, that you'd agreed to let him move on. And you believed that. I wanted to believe it. She wiped her eyes. I was 23 when we met. He was older, successful, charming. He made me feel special. When I got pregnant, he said he was happy that we'd be a family soon. He said he just needed time to finalize the divorce, to make sure the financial stuff was handled fairly. He lied to you too, I said. It wasn't a question. Yeah. Candace laughed bitterly. I got screenshots of your evidence last night. Someone who was at that dinner forwarded them. I read those text messages, saw what he really said about me and TJ. We're not his real family. We're just convenient. A backup plan. What are you going to do? I ended it. Last night after I saw the messages. Told him not to contact me anymore, not to come near me or our son. She looked up at me. I know it doesn't make up for anything. I know I helped destroy your marriage. But I'm done being used. I believed her. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. She looked broken in the same way I'd felt broken for the past 5 years. Trevor texted me this morning, Candace continued, begging me to support his story, to say you're lying about the fertility stuff. He said if we stick together we can fight your lawsuit. What did you tell him? I told him to go to hell. She pulled an envelope from her purse. These are all the text messages between us going back 3 years. Everything he said about you, about the money, about his plans. I thought you might want them for your case. I took the envelope. Why are you helping me? Because you're right. Because he's a liar and a manipulator and he hurt both of us. Candace stood up. I'm sorry for my part in this. I know sorry doesn't fix anything, but I mean it. You didn't deserve what he did to you. She left before I could respond. I sat there for another hour, drinking cold coffee and processing everything. Candace wasn't the enemy I'd built her up to be in my mind. She was another victim of Trevor's lies, just in a different way. My phone buzzed. Monica again. Trevor just filed a counter-motion claiming you fabricated evidence and that he wants to contest the divorce. I almost laughed. He's actually going to fight this? Looks like it. Foster's arguing that your evidence was obtained illegally, that you violated Trevor's privacy, and that the fertility stuff is a misunderstanding. It's all documented. Dr. Hughes will testify. The lab results are real. I know. And we'll win. But it's going to get ugly before it gets better. Trevor's going to try every tactic he can think of. Are you ready for that? I thought about the past 3 weeks. The investigation, the planning, the binder. The look on Trevor's face when I'd exposed him in front of both our families. I've been ready since I found his second phone, I said. Let him fight. I'm not backing down. That night, lying in my childhood bed, I finally let myself cry. Not for Trevor, I had no tears left for him. But for the woman I'd been. The one who'd believed she was broken. The one who'd apologized for existing. The one who'd spent 5 years hating herself. That woman was gone now. In her place was someone stronger. Someone who knew her worth. Someone who wouldn't let anyone make her feel small ever again. Tomorrow the legal battle would continue. People would gossip and take sides. Trevor would probably try more desperate tactics. But I'd already won the only battle that mattered. I'd taken back my power. The lawsuit hit the news 3 days later. Not because I wanted publicity, but because someone at the courthouse leaked the court filings to a local news blog. By Wednesday afternoon, my phone was exploding with calls from reporters. Hospital administrator files bombshell lawsuit against husband for fertility fraud, read one headline. Local woman claims husband sabotaged her fertility treatments while having secret family, read another. Monica advised me not to speak to the press. Let the evidence speak for itself. Anything you say can be twisted. But the court documents were public record. Anyone could read Trevor's systematic betrayal, the money he'd stolen, the child he'd hidden. The story spread fast through our social and professional circles. My work inbox filled with messages from colleagues. Most were supportive. From my boss, Margaret, take whatever time you need. Your job is secure. What you're dealing with is unimaginable. From my friend Rachel, who worked in billing, I always thought there was something off about Trevor. I'm so sorry you went through this. Let me know if you need anything. But there were other messages too. People who blamed me somehow, who suggested I should have known, who questioned why I'd exposed Trevor so publicly. An old college acquaintance. Seems kind of cruel to ruin his life like this. Couldn't you have handled it privately? A distant cousin. Family matters should stay in the family. This is embarrassing for everyone. I deleted those messages. I didn't owe anyone an explanation. Trevor's response to the publicity was to play the victim. He gave an interview to a local news station, sitting in his car looking disheveled and desperate. I made mistakes, he said into the camera. I had an affair. I accept that. But my wife is blowing this way out of proportion. The fertility stuff is a misunderstanding. I never deliberately sabotaged anything. She's trying to destroy my reputation because she's hurt and angry. I watched the interview on my laptop, my mother and Dennis standing behind me. He's actually denying it, Dennis said, incredulous. With all that evidence, he's still lying. That's what he does, I said calmly. He lies. It's who he is. Monica filed a response the next day, releasing some of the evidence publicly. Not everything, we were saving the most damaging stuff for court. But enough to counter Trevor's narrative. The screenshots of his text messages went semi-viral. People were horrified by his cruelty, by the calculated nature of his deception. She actually believes she's infertile. It's pathetic. I just need to drain that trust fund first, then I'm done. You and TJ are my real family. Public opinion turned fast. The same news station that had interviewed Trevor issued a follow-up piece. New evidence suggests husband's betrayal was systematic and calculated. Trevor deleted his social media accounts. Apparently, people had been flooding his profiles with angry comments. His employer, Chambers Construction, his father's company, released a statement. Trevor Chambers is no longer employed by Chambers Construction, effective immediately. The company does not condone the behavior outlined in recent legal filings. James had fired his own son. Patricia Chambers called me that Thursday. Brielle, I know this might not mean much, but I'm so sorry. James and I had no idea what Trevor was doing. We would have stopped him if we'd known. I believe you, I said. We're supporting your lawsuit. If there's anything we can do to help, any testimony or documentation you need, you have it. Trevor's actions don't represent our family values. It meant a lot hearing that from Trevor's mother. They could have circled the wagons, defended their son despite the evidence. Instead, they chose integrity. The divorce proceedings moved quickly. With the evidence so clear, there wasn't much Trevor's lawyer could argue. He tried to claim I'd violated his privacy by accessing his second phone, but Monica shut that down. The phone was in the marital home in a shared space. Mrs. Chambers had every right to examine her husband's belongings, particularly when investigating suspected infidelity and financial fraud. Trevor tried to argue that the money he'd taken wasn't theft because it came from a joint account. Monica countered with bank records showing he'd forged my signature on several large transfers and had hidden the transactions from me. This isn't a case of marital assets being used for family expenses, Monica argued in court. This is systematic financial exploitation, with the defendant deliberately deceiving the plaintiff about where marital funds were going. Dr. Hughes testified. She explained the fertility treatments I should have received, the medications that were prescribed, and the impossibility of those medications being confused with multivitamins. The pills Mrs. Chambers was taking had no medical benefit for fertility, Dr. Hughes stated clearly. They were standard supplements you could purchase at any pharmacy. Someone deliberately substituted them for her actual prescriptions. The pharmacy Trevor had used to order the fake pills was subpoenaed. Their records showed exactly what Monica had documented: hundreds of dollars spent on empty pill bottles and vitamin supplements, all shipped to Trevor's office address. Trevor's lawyer couldn't explain it away. By the end of the first week of April, 2 months after the dinner, the divorce was finalized. The judge ruled in my favor on every point. I got full ownership of the house, my trust fund balance, and my personal assets. Trevor was ordered to repay the $180,000 he'd stolen, plus $50,000 in penalties and my legal fees. The fraud lawsuit was settled separately, with Trevor agreeing to an additional $100,000 payment for emotional distress. He doesn't have that kind of money, Monica told me. Not after being fired. He'll have to liquidate assets, maybe file for bankruptcy. I don't care if I ever see the money, I said honestly. I just wanted him to face consequences. The final hearing was brief. Trevor looked terrible, unshaven, dark circles under his eyes, wearing a wrinkled suit. He tried to make eye contact with me, but I looked straight ahead. The judge read the ruling. Divorce granted. Financial penalties imposed. Restraining order approved. Trevor couldn't contact me or come within 500 feet of my residence or workplace. "Do you have anything you'd like to say, Mr. Chambers?" the judge asked. Trevor stood up. "I just want to say I'm sorry. To Brielle, to my family, to everyone. I made terrible choices and I hurt people I cared about. I'll regret it for the rest of my life." The judge looked unimpressed. Noted. This court is adjourned. I walked out of that courtroom a free woman. That night, I went to dinner with my mother, Dennis, and Nicole. We celebrated at a nice restaurant. Not Bellevue, I never wanted to see that place again, but somewhere new. Somewhere that wasn't attached to Trevor or our failed marriage. "To new beginnings," Dennis toasted, raising his wine glass. "To strength," my mother added. "To Brielle," Nicole said, smiling at me. "The bravest person I know." We clinked glasses and I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not just relief or vindication, but genuine happiness. The weight I'd been carrying for 5 years was finally lifting. I sold the house in May. I couldn't live there anymore, couldn't walk through rooms where I'd cried about my supposed infertility, where I'd believed Trevor's lies. A young couple bought it. They were expecting their first child. The irony wasn't lost on me. I used the money to buy a condo downtown, overlooking the river. Modern, clean, all mine. No memories of Trevor. No ghosts of who I'd been when I'd believed his lies. At work, I threw myself into a project I'd been passionate about for years, creating a comprehensive women's health center. Riverside Medical Center had the space in the budget, but the project had always been on the back burner. Now, with the publicity from my lawsuit bringing attention to women's health issues, the hospital board approved the funding. "We want you to lead this," Margaret said. "Design it, build the team, make it everything you envisioned." It felt like destiny. All those years of suffering through fake infertility, all that pain, maybe it could help other women now. The center would offer fertility counseling, mental health support, OBGYN services, education programs. Everything a woman might need. I hired the best specialists, created support groups, set up a system where women could get second opinions on medical advice, where they could verify their medications, where they could feel supported instead of isolated. By summer, the center was taking shape. We planned a fall opening. One day in June, I got a message from Candace. We hadn't spoken since that day at the cafe. "Candace, I wanted you to know I'm in therapy. Dealing with all of it. And I enrolled in college. Gonna finish my degree. Thank you for showing me what strength looks like." I smiled and typed back, "Good for you. You deserve better than what Trevor gave you." Trevor himself had disappeared from public view. I heard through the grapevine that he'd moved to another state, trying to start over. He'd lost his job, his reputation, his family's respect. The money I'd won from him had been paid out through liquidating his car and some investments. I didn't care what happened to him anymore. He was a chapter I'd closed. The woman I'd become wasn't the same person who'd sat at that dinner 2 months ago, trembling with nerves while clutching a black binder. That woman had been strong but scared, powerful but uncertain. Now I was just strong. Just powerful. I'd taken the worst thing that ever happened to me and turned it into something meaningful. I'd stopped being a victim and become a survivor. Not just survived, thrived. And I was just getting started. The Riverside Women's Health Center opened in September, 6 months after the dinner that changed my life. We held a small ribbon-cutting ceremony. Local news covered it, though thankfully they focused on the center itself rather than my personal story. "This facility represents hope," I said in my speech, standing in front of the modern glass building. "Hope for women who've been dismissed by medical professionals. Hope for women who've been told their pain isn't real or their concerns aren't valid. Hope for women who need support, answers, and advocacy." I didn't mention Trevor by name, but everyone there knew the subtext. This center existed because of what I'd endured. My pain had purpose now. Dr. Hughes joined our team as the Director of Fertility Services. "I couldn't pass up the opportunity," she said. "What you're building here is important." We also brought in Dr. Simone Wallace, a psychiatrist who specialized in trauma related to medical gaslighting and fertility struggles. Support groups met twice a week. We offered free initial consultations. We created educational materials about medication safety and the importance of second opinions. Within the first month, we'd helped over 200 women. Some just needed reassurance that their fertility concerns were being taken seriously. Others needed actual medical intervention. A few, heartbreakingly, discovered they'd been victims of sabotage similar to mine. One woman, Jennifer, came to us in October. She'd been trying to get pregnant for 4 years. Her husband had been handling her prescription pickups, just like Trevor had. Dr. Hughes tested her medications. They were antidepressants, not the fertility hormones her doctor had prescribed. Jennifer brought the evidence to her husband. He confessed he didn't want children and had been swapping her pills to prevent pregnancy while making her think she was infertile. "Your center saved me," Jennifer told me, tears streaming down her face. "If I hadn't seen your story in the news, if I hadn't thought to verify my medications, I could have spent years more thinking something was wrong with me." Stories like Jennifer's made every painful moment of my own journey worthwhile. My work life flourished. In November, the hospital promoted me to Executive Director of Women's Services, overseeing not just the health center but all women-focused programs across the hospital system. My personal life was quieter but healing. I went to therapy weekly, working through the trauma of Trevor's betrayal and the years of self-doubt he'd caused. "You're not broken," my therapist, Dr. Martin, reminded me regularly. "You never were. Someone you trusted made you believe you were, but that was his lie, not your truth." I decorated my condo for the holidays in December. My first Christmas truly alone, without a husband or even the ghost of a relationship. I hung lights on my balcony, bought a small tree, baked cookies with recipes from my mother. On Christmas Eve, I hosted dinner at my place for my family. Mom, Dennis, Nicole, and their new baby daughter, my niece, Sophie, born in November. Holding Sophie felt different now. Before, when I believed I was infertile, being around babies had hurt. Each one had been a reminder of what I couldn't have. Now I held my niece and felt only joy. Pure, uncomplicated joy. "You're a natural," Nicole said, watching me rock Sophie to sleep. "Maybe someday," I said. "But I'm okay if it's not for a while. I have other things to focus on right now." And I did. The health center was expanding. We were adding a mobile clinic to reach underserved communities. I was writing a proposal for a statewide database of verified fertility medications, making it harder for anyone to do what Trevor had done to me. In January, a year after I discovered Trevor's betrayal, I received a letter. It was from him. My first instinct was to throw it away unread. I had a restraining order. He wasn't supposed to contact me. But curiosity won out. I opened it. "Dear Brielle, I know I'm not supposed to write to you. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I needed to try. I'm in therapy now, working on understanding why I did what I did. My therapist says I'm a narcissist, that I use people to feel powerful because I felt powerless inside. I don't know if that's true or if it's just an excuse. What I do know is that I destroyed the best thing in my life. You were kind, loving, genuine. And I threw that away for money and ego and some twisted need to feel in control. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm not asking you to respond or acknowledge this. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. I see what I did, how much I hurt you, and I'm sorry. I heard about the health center. I'm proud of you for turning your pain into something that helps others. You always were stronger than I gave you credit for. I hope you're happy. I hope you found peace. I hope someday you can think about the good parts of our marriage without the pain I caused overshadowing everything. I'm sorry, Brielle. For all of it. Trevor." I read the letter 3 times. Then I put it through my paper shredder. Maybe Trevor had changed. Maybe therapy was helping him become a better person. Maybe his apology was genuine. It didn't matter. He'd had years to be a good husband, to treat me with respect, to love me honestly. He'd chosen manipulation and betrayal instead. Now he got to live with those consequences. I didn't need his apology to heal. I'd already done that work on my own. I forwarded a copy of the letter to Monica, documenting his violation of the restraining order. She filed a complaint, and Trevor was warned by the court that any further contact would result in legal consequences. I never heard from him again. By February, 1 year after the dinner, my life looked completely different. New home, new position at work, new sense of self. I'd lost a husband but gained so much more. My confidence, my power, my future. The health center was thriving. We'd helped over 1,000 women in just 5 months. Stories of lives changed, medical issues caught early, women empowered to advocate for themselves. I started speaking at conferences about medical advocacy and the importance of verifying medications and second opinions. My story resonated with people. Not just women who'd faced fertility struggles, but anyone who'd ever been gaslighted or manipulated or made to doubt their own reality. "You took something terrible and made it meaningful," one woman told me after a conference presentation. "You're helping so many people." That's what revenge really looked like, I realized. Not violence or public humiliation, though the dinner had certainly been humiliating for Trevor. Real revenge was building something beautiful from the ashes. Taking the power someone tried to steal and using it to help others. Trevor had wanted to leave me broken. Instead, I was successful and strong. He'd wanted me to believe I was worthless. Instead, I discovered my value. He'd wanted to be the one everyone sympathized with. Instead, he'd lost his job, his reputation, his family's respect. The best revenge wasn't making him suffer. It was making him irrelevant. I rarely thought about Trevor anymore. When I did, it was with a detached sort of pity. He was a small, insecure man who tried to make himself big by making me feel small. He'd failed. I was bigger, stronger, better than I'd ever been when I was married to him. And I was just getting started. The first time I saw Dr. Jerome Mitchell was at a fundraising gala for the health center in March. We'd been open 6 months and were raising money for the mobile clinic expansion. He was standing near the bar talking to Dr. Hughes. Tall, with warm brown skin and an easy smile. He looked relaxed in his tuxedo, laughing at something Patricia had said. "Brielle?" Dr. Hughes waved me over. "I want you to meet Dr. Jerome Mitchell. He's a fertility specialist from Chicago, in town for a medical conference. Jerome, this is Brielle Thompson, the founder and executive director of the center. I've heard incredible things about your work," Jerome said, shaking my hand. His grip was firm but gentle. "The model you've created here, comprehensive women's health with an emphasis on advocacy and verification, it's revolutionary. Thank you. We're trying to make sure no woman feels dismissed or doubted when she seeks medical care. Patricia mentioned you're looking for volunteers for the mobile clinic. I'd love to contribute if you need fertility specialists." We talked for an hour that night. About the center, about his work in Chicago, about the gaps in women's healthcare that needed addressing. Jerome was passionate about his field but humble about his expertise. He asked thoughtful questions and listened carefully to my answers. "I wish we had something like this in Chicago," he said. "The need is everywhere, but most hospitals treat women's health as an afterthought." "Start one," I suggested. "I'd be happy to share our model, our challenges, what's worked and what hasn't." "I might take you up on that." We exchanged business cards. Professional courtesy, nothing more. But over the next few weeks, Jerome and I emailed back and forth. He asked detailed questions about setting up similar programs. I shared our organizational structure, our funding sources, our community partnerships. Our emails grew longer, more personal. He told me about his work at a major hospital in Chicago, his frustration with administrative bureaucracy, his dream of creating more patient-centered care models. I told him about the health center's success stories, the women we'd helped, the community impact we were seeing. In April, Jerome called instead of emailing. "I hope this isn't too forward," he said, "but I'm going to be in town next week for another conference. Would you like to have coffee? I'd love to see the center in person." "I'd be happy to give you a tour," I said. We met on a Tuesday afternoon. I showed him our facilities, the consultation rooms designed to feel warm and welcoming rather than clinical, the education center with its library of resources, the support group spaces decorated with art and comfortable seating. "This is amazing," Jerome said, genuinely impressed. "Every detail is thoughtful. This is what healthcare should look like." "We tried to create a space where women feel valued," I explained. "Where they're not just another patient file but whole people with complex needs." After the tour, we went to a coffee shop nearby. We talked for 3 hours, our conversation flowing easily from healthcare to books to travel to family. "So you're from here originally?" Jerome asked. "Born and raised. My dad was a teacher, my mom's a librarian. My brother and I grew up in a house full of books." "That sounds wonderful. What about you?" "Chicago my whole life. Big family, I'm the youngest of 5. My parents owned a restaurant for 30 years. Sunday dinners are mandatory and chaotic." He was easy to talk to. There was no pressure, no agenda. Just 2 people enjoying each other's company. When he left town, we kept in touch. Calls once or twice a week. Then more frequently. By May, we were talking almost daily. "I look forward to your calls," Jerome admitted one evening. "They're the best part of my day." "Mine too," I said honestly. "Brielle, I need to be honest about something. I know we started this as professional networking, but somewhere along the way, it became more than that for me. My heart was beating faster. For me too. I'm going to be in town again next month for a medical symposium. Would you like to have dinner with me? Not a professional dinner. A date." I smiled. "I'd like that." Our first official date was at a small Italian restaurant in June. Jerome wore a blue shirt that brought out his eyes. I wore a dress I'd bought specifically for the occasion, feeling nervous and excited. We talked about everything and nothing. He told me about growing up in his big family, learning to cook in his parents' restaurant, choosing medicine over culinary school. I told him about my father's death, my work at the hospital, my passion for advocacy. I didn't tell him about Trevor that night. That story could wait. Jerome walked me to my car after dinner. "I had a really great time," he said. "Me too. Can I see you again? Tomorrow maybe? I'm in town until Sunday." We spent the entire weekend together. Long walks along the river. Brunch at a cafe I loved. A visit to the art museum where we discovered we had similar taste in paintings. Sunday evening, before he drove back to Chicago, we sat on my balcony watching the sunset. "I need to tell you something," I said. "Okay." So I told him. About Trevor, about the betrayal, about the fertility sabotage and the lawsuit and the public divorce. I told him about the dinner where I'd exposed everything, about the binder, about the year of rebuilding my life. Jerome listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment. "I'm sorry you went through that," he said finally. "No one deserves to be treated that way. I'm not telling you because I want sympathy. I just thought you should know. It's a big part of why the health center exists, why this work matters so much to me. You took something terrible and turned it into something that helps people. That takes incredible strength. I don't always feel strong. Strength isn't about never feeling weak. It's about what you do when you are weak. And you built something beautiful." He reached over and took my hand. "You're remarkable, Brielle." We started officially dating in July. Long distance was challenging. Chicago to here was a 4-hour drive, but we made it work. Jerome drove down most weekends. I visited Chicago when I could take time off work. His family welcomed me immediately. His mother, Lorraine, hugged me the first time we met. "Jerome hasn't stopped talking about you for months," she said warmly. "Says you're changing women's healthcare." "I'm trying." "You're doing more than trying, honey. You're succeeding." Sunday dinners with the Mitchell family were exactly as chaotic as Jerome had described. 5 siblings plus spouses plus children, all gathered around a massive dining table, talking over each other and laughing and sharing food. It was beautiful. Warm. Everything my marriage to Trevor had never been. In August, Jerome made a decision. "I'm moving here," he announced during one of our phone calls. "What?" "Jerome, you can't uproot your whole life." "I can and I am. Chicago has plenty of fertility specialists. But you only have one women's health center and I want to be part of it. I want to be part of your life." He started at the center in September, exactly 1 year after we'd opened. The staff loved him immediately. He was kind to patients, respectful of colleagues, passionate about the work. Watching him interact with patients, I saw what had drawn me to him. He listened. Really listened. He treated women like their concerns mattered, their experiences were valid, their choices were their own. He was everything Trevor had pretended to be. By October, Jerome and I had settled into a comfortable rhythm. We worked together at the center, went home to my condo together, built a life together. He never pushed me to talk about marriage or future plans. He seemed content to just be with me, to let our relationship develop naturally. One evening in November, we were cooking dinner together in my kitchen. Jerome was making his mother's marinara sauce, insisting I had to learn the family recipe. "You're going to burn the garlic?" I teased, watching him stir. "I've been making this sauce since I was 10. I know what I'm doing." "You're very confident." "Comes from years of practice." He turned down the heat and faced me. "Can I tell you something?" "Of course." "You're the strongest person I've ever met. And I don't mean that as a line or flattery. I mean you took something that would have destroyed most people and used it to build something meaningful. You could have become bitter or closed off or afraid to trust anyone. Instead you opened yourself up to helping others, to believing in people again, to taking a chance on a guy from Chicago who showed up asking too many questions about healthcare models." I felt my throat tighten with emotion. "Jerome, I'm not going anywhere," he said quietly. "I'm not Trevor. I'm not going to lie to you or manipulate you or make you doubt yourself. I'm here because I want to be here, because being with you makes me better, because I respect who you are and what you've built." "I know," I said. And I did know. I'd learned to trust my instincts again, to recognize genuine kindness versus manipulation. Jerome was real in a way Trevor had never been. "I love you," he said. "I've loved you since that first night at the gala when you talked about creating spaces where women feel valued. I love your passion, your strength, your heart. I love you, Brielle. I love you too." He kissed me and it felt like coming home. December brought the 1-year anniversary of the health center's opening. We planned a celebration, an evening event with our staff, volunteers, and some of the women we'd helped. Jennifer, the woman whose husband had been swapping her medications, brought her 3-month-old daughter. She exists because of you, Jennifer said, tears in her eyes. Because you built this place and made it safe for women to get real answers. There were dozens of similar stories that night. Women who'd received proper treatment. Women who'd discovered medical issues their previous doctors had missed. Women who'd found support and community. Standing in the center I'd built, surrounded by people whose lives had been changed, I felt something settle in my chest. Peace maybe. Or closure. Trevor had tried to break me. He'd wanted to leave me destroyed, convinced I was worthless. Instead, I'd built something that mattered. I'd helped people. I'd found love again, real love this time with someone who respected me. I'd won. Not in the way revenge is usually portrayed in movies or books. Not with dramatic confrontations or public suffering. I'd won by refusing to stay broken. By choosing to grow instead of shrink. By building instead of destroying. That night, after the celebration ended and the guests had left, Jerome and I stood in the empty center. "What are you thinking?" he asked. That a year ago I couldn't have imagined this. Any of this. The center, the work we're doing you. I leaned against him. Trevor wanted to destroy me. But look at what I built instead. You're incredible. We're incredible, I corrected. This is our work now. Our life. Jerome's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and smiled. My mom wants to know if we're coming to Sunday dinner this week. She's making your favorite, the lasagna. Tell her yes. I will. He hesitated. Can I ask you something? Always. Do you ever regret it? The public confrontation at the dinner? Some people would have handled it privately. I thought about that night. The binder, the evidence, the look on Trevor's face when his world fell apart. No, I said. He was planning to publicly humiliate me. He wanted to make me look like the failure. I just made sure the truth came out instead. And honestly, if I'd handled it privately, if I'd just quietly divorced him, he would have spun some story about us growing apart or my obsession with having kids driving us apart. This way, everyone knows exactly what he did. Fair enough. Besides, I continued, if I hadn't done it that way, if my story hadn't become public, the center might not exist. Women like Jennifer might still be suffering in silence. Sometimes making things public is the right choice, even if it's uncomfortable. Jerome pulled me close. I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you fought back. Because if you hadn't, I might never have met you. We stood there in the quiet center, holding each other, thinking about the past year and the future ahead. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I almost didn't check it, but something made me look. It was from Trevor. I saw the news story about the center's anniversary. I'm proud of what you've built. You were always stronger than I deserved. I hope you're happy. I showed Jerome the message. What do you think I should do? What do you want to do? I deleted the message without responding. Trevor didn't get to be part of my story anymore. He didn't get to know if I was happy or successful or thriving. He didn't get closure or forgiveness or acknowledgement. He got to live with the consequences of his choices while I moved forward with mine. Let's go home, I said to Jerome. Home. My beautiful condo, the life I'd built for myself, the future I was creating with someone who actually loved me. Trevor had called me barren, tried to convince me I was broken and worthless. But I'd never been barren. I'd been full of potential, full of strength, full of the seeds of everything I would become.